Rolling down the boulevard in the speedable Corvette, like a tail on a tornado ring to promise soaked in sweat. One hand on the glass pipe, the other on the wheel. Devil riding shotgun, singing, boy, let's make a deal.
This is Groundless, a Justified podcast. This is a podcast where we watch every episode of Justified and then come on here and talk about it. I'm Chris. That man is Randy.
A lot of cocaine in this episode.
There is a lot of cocaine in this episode. And then they have the diamonds to kind of go with the cocaine.
Yeah.
Right? That's like
right.
one and the same. But we're here to talk about season 6, episode 4 of Justified, an episode called The Trash and the Snake. This episode originally aired February 10th, 2015. And our synopsis this week: Raylan and Boyd separately find out why Avery Markham is buying up all the land in Harlan, as well as the consequences if you don't cooperate. Meanwhile, Catherine Hale pays an unexpected visit to Ava. And this episode written by Chris Provenzano and Ingrid Escajeda. We're familiar with them. Ingrid is the executive story editor. She writes, I think, one episode a season. And then Chris Provenzano, of course, has been around since the beginning. And directed by Adam Arkin, who directs a number of Justified episodes. Our very own Theo Tonin, no longer on the show, but still directing behind the camera. So good to see him back. And our guest stars this week. We've got a couple that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about Mr. and Mrs. Wiz, Louis Mago and Bridget Mago. So Louis Mago, you recognized him probably. That's Jake Busey. He's Gary Busey's son. And he's been in a bunch of stuff, including Starship Troopers, which is a fantastic film if you haven't seen it. I love Starship Troopers, and the Post Credt guys do a good podcast on Starship Troopers, so check that out when you get a chance. He's also in Contact as one of the bad guys. You might remember him as the guy who blows up the original the ring thing that they drop Jodie Foster through, or that they're going to drop Jodie Foster through. He blows it. He's like a religious fanatic or something.
I thought that was Matthew McConaughey.
Well, Matthew McConaughey is the religious guy who's on like the panels and everything else, but he's not the zealot. Jake Busey's the zealot who blows it up.
Oh, okay.
No words should have said a
solid
poet.
movie that
Yeah.
They should have sent a poet.
Identity, which is a John Cusack film, split personality sort of thing. He's in that. I think he's one of the personalities. I don't remember exactly. But he's also been in Stranger Things, the 2018 version of The Predator, Ray Donovan, Enemy of the State, and Twister. Of course, he was in Twister back in the 90s.
Oh yeah, what's her name wearing the tank tops, the wife beaters?
Helen Hunt. Yes,
Helen Hunt.
Yeah. We've got cows.
Yeah.
And so that's Jake Busey. You've definitely seen him in things, and he's Gary Busey's son, who appears, he plays crazy well on film, but I don't think he's actually crazy, unlike his father, who is a complete lunatic. And has had some challenges in life, that's for sure, including, I think, he crashed his motorcycle without a helmet, and that led to some of his issues.
But he was crazy before that, wasn't he?
He was crazy before that, but I think that Gary Busey's in an Entourage, right? And yes, he's absolutely hilarious in that, kind of playing himself.
So, a version of himself, I guess.
Exactly. So, and then Rebecca Brandis. So Rebecca Brandis is Mrs. Wiz, Bridget Mago. She's the one with the snake draped around her neck and the crop top. And I'm only mentioning this for one reason. So she's really only known for Justified. She's got one episode of Criminal Minds, one episode of NCIS. She's got several straight-to-video movies. She's mostly known now as a writer. You can check her IMDb. She's got a bunch of short films under her belt as the writer of those films. But, I like to perform a service for our viewers. If you wanted to see her with her shirt off, you could see her with her shirt off. There's a movie called Bellflower from 2011 that she was in. If the video that I saw is real, which I couldn't really tell, it was not a super high quality image on the video. It's like extended, like full nudity, like a minute and a half of extended full nudity. But at the very least, there's a scene of her with her shirt off. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, you can check her out in Bellflower. The clip I saw of the movie, I couldn't quite tell what was going on. So I don't know if it's going to be a good film or not a good film, but yeah.
I don't even remember that movie.
Bellflower. Oh no, I don't think that's worth remembering. I don't think anybody saw it. That's our episode basics. So let's really quickly here climb into our DeLorean and take a quick trip back to the week of February 10th, 2015 and see what was going on in popular culture at that time.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
I did, and we'll dispense with the top 40 song right now, Uptown Funk, in its fifth week as the number one song. And again, I really think we're going to end up with Uptown Funk throughout the entire season, but I think that's cool because we haven't had one that's made it through the whole season just yet. So, but we have a new number one movie after what was that movie, the war movie that was number one there with Bradley Cooper.
Sniper. Oh no,
the other one, American Sniper.
I think so.
I don't know.
Oh, this is the same thing that we ran into last time.
I know. Yes, it is American Sniper is the name of the movie. Issuing multiple corrections on this stupid movie. Just check our Twitter thread if you're confused at all about what we're talking about.
And I'll say this, just if you're not following the Twitter, for the record, the Marky Mark movie, there is a movie that exists and it's called Lone Survivor, and it is Marky Mark playing a Navy SEAL also.
Yes, it's I don't think the plots are similar necessarily, but they were released at around the same time, and so for me they kind of overwrote in my brain. I didn't see either one of them, so and then
I think that I was gonna say the superior one is the superior Marky Mark sniper movie is a movie called Sniper.
Is the movie called Sniper? Yeah, that's the one where he's being hunted by the government, right?
Yeah. And that pushes my buttons as far as like, oh, the government's like a bunch of shooters. What it's called? Jesus Christ.
You're right. It's totally called Shooter. You're absolutely right. Good thing we know about what we're talking about. That's why they gave us a podcast.
Yeah.
Wait, they gave us a podcast? I don't know how that works. We got it issued to us at the podcast in place.
Yeah. Oh, and for the record, let me issue up. This is like 3 corrections deep. that is Shooter with Mark Wahlberg, and he does play not a Navy SEAL sniper, but Force Recon sniper. So I guess he's the Army.
Yeah. Well, in the other movie, the Lone Survivor, he actually,
he was in Lone Survivor. He was I don't know if he was a sniper, but he was a Navy SEAL.
Right. I think that guy because that's I think a real movie or based on a real person, right? The Lone Survivor movie, because I think that guy wrote a book. Yeah. I think that guy threw out the first pitch at a Padres game that I was at one time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I think it was one of those guys. He was one of the, maybe he won or not won, because I don't think like when you
received,
it's not like you're winning anything. It's more like, well, you survived the Medal of Honor, I believe.
I think that's right. Yeah. So, But that's all a very long way to say that the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water, is the new #1 movie this week with a total of $63 million. Now, I have seen little bits and pieces of SpongeBob. I've never seen the movies. I have enjoyed immensely every little sort of bit and piece that I've seen of SpongeBob, but I've never sat down and actually watched it. It very much strikes me as comedy. It's a cartoon that's ostensibly aimed at children, but all of the jokes are for adults. Is the sort of the vibe that I get from SpongeBob.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen an episode. Yeah, usually you might catch clips or like TikTok's bits and stuff. I don't think I've ever seen any of those either.
Yeah, we're on different. I think we're on different TikToks, but I will occasionally get like a SpongeBob clip or something, and it's usually somebody using it to like make fun of something else. So not just
like a
kind of
meme
standing
sort of
on its own. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So. And then the other movie that's in theaters that I wanted to talk about, and Post Credt guys, the Post Credt Podcast for anyone who doesn't already know. I want you guys to do this movie. I know you typically only do like good movies or ostensibly good movies, but Jupiter Ascending got 23 million at the box office this week, and I was I don't know, like probably $15 of that 23 million because I went and saw that movie the week that it opened in the theater. It is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in a theater. I almost got up and walked out. It is atrocious film. Absolutely atrocious movie. Unwatchable as far as I'm concerned.
Did Sean Bean die in it?
That's a good question. I don't remember. I don't remember if Sean Bean died in it, but I do know that whatever Magic Mike was in that movie, some sort of weird wolf man hybrid thing, was really dumb and
oh really?
Yeah, it was really bad. There's like a 25-minute segment of alien bureaucracy. It's like going to the DMV, and it's played for comedy. Like, they send them upstairs and downstairs or whatever, but it's boring. And I mean, it's really, really something. So
look at this pedigree here. It's the
I know.
Wachowskis.
Yeah,
and
I
then
know.
Who's it? C. Tates is in it, and Mila Kunis.
Yep.
Eddie Redmayne.
Yeah. Eddie Redmayne, kind of at the peak of his popularity, right? He had just done the movie, the Dutch Girl movie. I mean, he plays a character that's that whispers basically the entire movie and is super weird, and the whole movie is very, very weird, but. Basically, the story is Mila Kunis finds out that she's an alien princess, and they're trying to her brothers and sisters are trying to assassinate her. It's awful. And again, with the pedigree, I was like, oh, this is going to be cool. And then I went and saw it, and it was just one of the worst movies I've ever seen in a theater.
Oh, I think did I see this? I don't know. The movie I'm thinking of, there was a movie with John Travolta, which has the same sort of
Battlefield
vibe.
Earth.
Yeah, but I think that was like a Scientology.
That was a Scientology thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Huh.
Yeah. But yeah, Post Credt guys, if you get a chance, I know you've got a busy schedule. Check that one out. It might be a fun one to do, just to kind of shit on how crappy it is, because there's a lot of fertile ground there to sort of dig into with Jupiter Ascending, one of the worst movies I've ever seen. So, all right. Well, with that done, let's get into our episode. We got a lot to talk about here, I think. There's a lot that happens in this episode, including a couple. Like the single funniest moment that I think happens in Justified in the entire run of the show happens in this episode. And we also get a visit from Dickie Bennett, which always makes me happy. We have a new feature that we'll get to when we talk about Dickie Bennett, because it is Dickie Bennett's last appearance in Justified, unfortunately. So we'll be retiring the Dickie Bennett character when we get to that point, and we'll we'll play the new feature when we get there. So, but our open here, we've got another creepy shot of Boyd staring at Ava while she sleeps.